here, Finns here. I am back for another video, and today I am so excited because today was the day that the running order for the first semi-finals got out, and I'm so excited. No, okay, do that again. Today, the first semi-final and the second semi-final running order for Eurovision 2022 came out today, and I'm going to react and then do a review on it, starting off with semi-final 1 for Eurovision 2021. Not 2021, 2022. So yes, very excited, very nervous. So we're starting off with the first semi-final. This was, I think, was always going to be the tougher semi-finals to predict the running order. But I've come up with it. I don't think I'm right, but hopefully I'll be most right about this. I predict the running order will go like this: Albania, Moldova, Lithuania. Right. Let's put this through. Bulgaria, Switzerland, Ukraine, Slovenia, Netherlands, Latvia, Armenia, Denmark, Portugal, Norway, Croatia, Greece. Let me check off Iceland, and finally Austria. So let's react to it and see if I got any of those right. Ah!
Oh, and by the way, we'll be speeding up this because of copyright, so I might sound a bit squeaky. Okay. Yes! Albania will be opening! Yes! I got that one right! Oh, yes! That's our show opener. Who's getting the number 2 spot? Oh my gosh. Come on, play the next song, come on. Ah, come on, look. Latvia gets the number 2 spot. Interesting choice. I was considering that at one point. Latvia number 2. Not Bulgaria. So kind of 2 upbeat songs quite early on. Interesting. Who gets 3? This is interesting. Lithuania, I got that one right. Lithuania number 3, I got that one right. Okay, so 2 Baltic countries at the start. Weird, disco kind of sounds. Okay, okay. This is interesting. I can't imagine they put Bulgaria near the end of this first half. Switzerland 4. So I said 5 for Switzerland. Okay, so that's like the first ballad of the semi. How much English? Okay, we've got Lithuania in the middle. Right, okay. This is so tense for running order. Okay. Slovenia gets number 5 this year. So they put like 2 countries beginning with L together, and they put the 2 countries beginning with S together. Okay. Ooh. Okay. They're putting Bulgaria on later than I thought they would be. Who have we got left? Ukraine might come near the commercial break. Ukraine is next. Number 6 for Ukraine, I got that one right. Okay. It could have been a show opener, but I think if the uncertainty whether they'll be entering and whether they use an on-tape version to start the show, I don't know, so maybe that's why they're not opening. But not a bad running order for Ukraine. I think this will be near the commercial break, I would imagine. Just before or after. Bulgaria gets 7, and not number 2. But it is coming on after Ukraine, so maybe it's not such a great running order. That's on later than I thought it would be. The producers are not that mean to Bulgaria this year. Okay. It's going to be Netherlands and Moldova, I would imagine. I put a lot of men on next to each other, because it's got to be Netherlands. Yeah, Netherlands. East team. Oh, that's the winning slot coming after Bulgaria, isn't it, just? I got that one right, I said 8. Listen. So it must be Moldova will be number 9. And I said it was number 2. Oh. And Moldova gets number 9. This year. Okay. Okay. Now I'm intrigued about the second half. There's so many similar songs that female kind of mid-tempo vibe. So, would it be Armenia next, maybe? Let's do fire after Moldova. Portugal! It's the first song of the second half. Yes. Alright. Got a nice transition there. From Moldova to Portugal. In the middle of the show for Portugal. Is it going to be Denmark after this? Croatia gets a left. Alright. I didn't see Portugal and Croatia going next to each other. So Croatia gets another early draw in the second half again. They're very used to that. I think the producers don't want to see Croatia in the final this year. Denmark gets 12. Quite a good draw for them. I presume it will be near the commercial break. Yeah? Yeah, around the commercial break, I would say. So who have we got left? We've got 5 more countries left. Austria will not close the show. They get 13. That's really interesting. I would imagine they must bring a big prop on stage. So maybe they need a commercial break to set things up, I would imagine. So Norway must close the show. Because it can't be any of the other 3. It can't be any of the other 3. Iceland get 14. Alright. Yeah, Subwoofers must close the show. It's not going to be Austria. So we've got left Armenia, Greece, and Norway. It'll be maybe Greece next, and then Armenia, and then Norway then. Yeah. Greece is next. They get 15, as I predicted. Good draw for them. That's a really good draw for Greece. They could win the semi-finals, we know. Good draw. Good draw. So it's got to be Armenia and Norway. They wouldn't close the show with Armenia. Wow. Okay. Norway gets 16. Alright. They get number 16. That means Armenia gets number 17. What? Who did this running order? I never thought that would be a show closer. Armenia is closing the show. They must bring a big prop on stage. Surely, that's probably the reason why, or something like that. There must be a reason why they put Armenia on last. It's not, it's quite a happy song to close the show on, actually. Thinking about it, it's not a dreary ballad. Did never see Armenia close the show. Well, okay. So that is the running order for semi-final 1, and I am going to review it right now.
Oh, okay. So, it's time for me to review and analyse the running order for semi-final 1. And so, to recap, the running order goes like this. We will be opening the show with Ranella Hursti from Albania, followed by Latvia, Lithuania, Switzerland, Slovenia, Ukraine, Bulgaria, Netherlands, and Moldova. And then in the second half we will have Portugal, Croatia, Denmark, Austria, Iceland, Greece, Norway, and closing the show, surprise, surprise, it's Rosalind from Armenia. Yes, so I won't go into it like 10 hours analysing this. I'll just get the main points out of the way. First things first, Albania is opening the show. This is what I predicted, what I wanted, and I'm very happy Albania is opening the show. I think Ronella was a very good choice to open the show. I think she'll definitely open the show off with a bang. I think she's going to hopefully bring a lot of fire on stage. You know, I think this is a great way to open Eurovision 2022. I think there were only two options for show opener. I think it was either going to be Albania or maybe Ukraine. And Ukraine would have been like a touching opening, you know, start to the show. I mean, it would be very timely of what's happening in Ukraine at the moment. And it wouldn't have been a bad choice either. But I think the whole situation with Ukraine at the moment, seeing will they be at Turin or not, will they have to use an on-tape version? Is that the best way to open the show with a performance that might not be there? I don't know, but it was either Albania or Ukraine for me, and they decided to go for Albania. It's probably a safer choice to go for because of the uncertainty of Ukraine, but Albania was a good choice to go for. On the other side, Armenia was chosen to be the show closer, which surprised me at first, because I didn't predict Armenia. I never thought Armenia would be the show closer. I personally thought it was going to be Austria, or maybe Norway, but I never thought it was going to be Armenia. I thought it felt a bit, you know, mid-tempo song. Would you end with this kind of song in a semi? And I did scratch my head a little bit when I found out Armenia was closing the first semi-final, I should say. I would like to think something big is going to come from Armenia, because there must be a reason for that type of song to close. I mean, we have got kind of similar songs to Armenia on that same kind of, you know, female singer-songwriter, mid-tempo kind of guitar vibe. You know what I get from like Croatia, Iceland, and maybe Portugal, or kind of similar songs. So I'm surprised at Armenia. I guess Armenia might be bringing a big prop. They might be bringing something big. And it's not actually that bad choice, if you think about it, closing the show. It is kind of happy, you know, it'll get you into the votes. And 1, 2, where are you? It's kind of a happy, clappy song. And it's really boosted Armenia's chances of qualifying now. Considering it was like a borderline qualifier, it's really now gone quite up now because of this draw. Yeah, it's like the best draw it's got. Yeah, I mean, I think they would bring something big on stage. There must be a reason why Armenia is closing the show. They're going to bring something big, I would imagine. Big prop or something. Like a big house, who knows? Be like the movie Up. Obviously another one I was very curious to see where they were going to put was Ukraine. That was the big question. Where was Ukraine going to be put? And they put it number 6. So I would imagine Ukraine will come around the running order, around the commercial break. I would imagine song 6 is either before or after the commercial break, and it's usually it's usually before the commercial break in recent years. So yeah, that's probably the best choice, you know, because it's gonna, if Ukraine do go there, they're gonna get a lot of support. You know, they're gonna get a big round of applause, I would imagine. And nobody would want to follow after that. So maybe it was wise to have the commercial break before the next act goes on, to have a little bit of pause and take in what's happened. And I would imagine also, knowing Ukraine, they will bring, hopefully, fingers crossed, something big on stage, or something very impressive, because it is Ukraine, of course. And it's going to be a moment. It's going to be a moment. Yeah. So let's quickly look through the running order. Okay, so let's start at first off. Albania, Latvia, Lithuania are first 3 songs. Latvia is being given the number 2 spot, which is usually the death spot in the semis. Nobody's qualified in that spot since 2017 and Nathan Trent from Austria. I didn't predict Latvia would get the number 2 spot. I'm surprised that we have kind of Albania open with kind of up-tempo dance, kind of, yeah, it's up-tempo. Yeah, and then you've got Latvia, which is high energy as well, and quite, you know, the mood doesn't change. And then we go to Lithuania, which is kind of brings the tempo kind of down, and then Switzerland really brings it down with that really gentle ballads. So it is an interesting pace and mood of the semi. Lithuania getting number 3 spot, I kind of saw happening. I didn't think that it would be like coming on after Latvia. It's interesting. I've got to stop saying the word interesting because I said that last year. It's very curious that they've put 2 Baltic countries near the start, both beginning with L, and then you've got Switzerland and Slovenia, both beginning with S together. I don't know, but yeah. And you've got kind of 2 disco numbers, Latvia and Lithuania next to each other. I know different musically, but you know, like disco vibe. You know, it's a bit weird. I think they had to really separate the bands and the groups a lot, because really in semi-final 1 there's a lot of groups to get through. And it's, yeah, all the groups have been given into semi-final 1 apart from Finland and Georgia, which is bizarre. And yeah, not many solo singers. So yeah, it is interesting. It's curious to see. So we go through that, and then we go to Switzerland, which is quite the only male ballad. Then we go to Slovenia, kind of charming disco, Slovenian disco. Then to Ukraine, or Ukraine is Ukraine. And then we go to Bulgaria, which people thought that would get the number 2 spot. I thought Bulgaria would be put on a little bit earlier in the draw, but it's not. It's given quite, well, I say decent. I mean, number 7. The only thing is, it is coming on after Ukraine and before the Netherlands, so that song is sandwiched. It's very in a tough spot. It really is. There might be a commercial break, and probably will be a commercial break between Ukraine and Bulgaria, so maybe it might not be too bad, but even so. Then you got Netherlands, and then Moldova. Moldova's been put on as the last song of the first half, which is good for them. That is a good sign for them, I think. I guess. I don't know. But it's coming after the Netherlands, so it will wake people up, I think. Depending how good the Netherlands is, because that's going to qualify Netherlands. Moldova, you know, can be hit or miss. Yeah, it's gonna stand out between Netherlands and Portugal, both either sides. So yeah, maybe it's not all bad for Moldova. Then we go to Portugal. Then so the second half is very curious, because you get all these kind of similar songs as well. You've got Portugal and Croatia next to each other, and maybe I would have liked those 2 to be separated a little bit. I don't know, maybe they could have put Denmark in between those 2, say, when I look at the draw, because they're kind of 2 really slow songs together, maybe. I don't know, maybe it's just me being picky. Yeah, you got Portugal, Croatia, Denmark, and then I presume we'll go, knowing that usually 12 and 13 will have a commercial break in between them. Austria, yeah, Denmark and Austria together, I would have maybe done some adjustments, me personally, to the running order a little bit in that second half, I have to say. And then we go to Austria, then Iceland, then Greece, Norway and Armenia. So let's go. Who is winning the semi-final? Well, who is looking good in the semi-final? I think Albania is a really good shot for show opener. I think Greece actually is in a good spot. It's coming on after Iceland, which is kind of sleepy, kind of slow. And this, while it starts off slow, it really builds, and it's in a really nice place in the draw. Yeah, it's really in a good spot, I think. Norway is in a good spot, I feel. And Norway, did I say Norway? I think I said Greece. But Norway is also in a good spot. Even though it's not closing the show, it's near the end of the show. I am surprised they didn't. That or either Austria closed the show, I have to say. But no, this is in a really good spot for Norway. It's in a really good spot. And of course Armenia closing the show as well is also in a really good spot as well, because everybody wants to close the spot. And I think Ukraine is also in a good spot. It comes in a good time. I think just before that first commercial break, I think people are going to, after that, pause and reflect on Ukraine more than moving on to the next artist, which I think could be quite good for them. The artist I'm worried about, who has lost the draw, who's not looking good in this draw, per se. I have to say, I would worry if I had to perform after Ukraine, or before Ukraine, or be surrounded by Ukraine. So I'm worried for Slovenia and Bulgaria. Being around Ukraine could be a bit of challenging, per se. I worry Bulgaria is going to get overshadowed by Ukraine. And Slovenia could do the same before it. I think at least Slovenia is not performing exactly after Ukraine, but it's likely performing before Ukraine. So Switzerland's also an interesting one. Let's talk about Switzerland, because there's not much been a lot about hype around Switzerland this year compared to the last couple of years for Switzerland. And they're performing in number 4, and they've got kind of an early draw in that first half. It's really, I don't know what's going to happen to Switzerland. Sacha Baptiste is behind the staging, so maybe it will elevate live. Maybe there is room for this. There is no other male ballads in this semi-final, so there could be a place for Switzerland in the final. But it's really hard to tell where this is going to go. Who else is losing in this draw? I'm going to say I'm worried about Croatia. Between Portugal and Denmark, I can sense the producers don't care about Croatia, where they put them. Because we see this every year with Croatia. They always put Croatia early on in the second half. And it has become quite, really, I mean, I can understand that this year, mainly because of the song, there's not hype about it. Nobody's predicting it's going to qualify or anything. So I do feel sorry for Croatia. They always get these kind of draws every year. It's just really tough on them, and they haven't qualified since 2017. It would have been nice to see Croatia lower down, but yeah, I worry that as Armenia's closing the show, and then it's just exactly after Portugal, which is actually really nice, and it's got its own vibe of its own. Croatia could well get lost out in this draw. And just before Denmark's actually not in a bad place, actually. Denmark is actually quite nice where it is. So yeah, so that is my overall thoughts of semi-final 1. What do you think? Comment down below in the comment section below. Like and subscribe to this video, and I will be back for more content very soon. Until then, goodbye people, goodbye. See you later, bye.